I didn't believe in that, and I was thinking it was like a kind of levitating the energy of the temple. So it's most symbolizing the whole spiritual feeling inside the temple, okay?
What does conventional Egyptology suggest that that's representing?
Well, they are saying that it's stretching a cord around the temple, okay? And it comes just after pouring the water and also putting the foundations offerings. But we can notice that the temple here is complete.
So who were they?
We can't be sure, but if we look at the Temple of Edfu, for example, when we were cruising down the Nile, Ross, we can see these obsessive compulsive depictions of very tall, large beings or netters coming across to Egypt in boats. Boats obviously were used on the high seas and on the Nile, but why so big? Why so many beings inside them? Why depicting the transition from west to east? And is this speaking of an Atlantean type civilization?
So you're talking here about the lost city of Atlantis, which we're told is mythology. It's not true. It's just a story.
For sure, but there are other myths as well of different island, let's say, civilizations all around the world. Look at Mauritius, where I'm from, for example. We say that we hear about this civilization of Lemuria. Lemuria is a Malgache, a Madagascan word. It means souls of the departed. So we can locate this through the etymological, analysis of the language. We also know that there's been studies of island groups around Mauritius or submerged islands, and they would have been above the water's level at one point in time. So, there is evidence for island-type conglomerate areas on the Earth that are a bit different. The gravitational waves are a bit different around this part of the world, and the Earth's crust is much thicker than the average location.
So let's go through some of the specifics that we've seen during our trip. I think very early on, walking through the museum in Cairo, you see these gorgeous statues made out of carved diorite granite, a beautiful, deep, black, polished granite. And I don't know how a civilization that at best only had copper tools or bronze tools, and very early on only had stone tools, how could you possibly make a statue that beautiful with that kind of technology?
You simply can't, and granite or rose granite and diorite are harder than steel on the relevant scale. So we know that they couldn't do it with copper tools to that degree and to
So what explanation is given by conventional Egyptology to explain this?
It is the use of these tools. I mean, that's as far as I can tell, and just hewing and using of the use